Only many people be an India say. Man, I made a bench so I flower no will be a for handkerchief from the family. I say, what else? The bench so I flower no will be a for handkerchief from the everybody singing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Everybody singing hallelujah. Hallelujah. Make you sing. Oh, yeah.
All right, good evening, everybody. Hope you can hear me loud and clear. If you can hear me, please go on the platform and type your name and type where you're joining us from. My name is Kelvin and welcome to this evening's session. We are going to have a brief, straight to the point session where we are going to discuss a few things here and there because, Charlie, there are a lot of things that make an impact. There are a lot of things that hit hard, a lot of things that we don't understand, and it's really affecting how we approach life and business and everything that relates to us. And so I'm hoping that this evening we are going to dissect a few things and then take it from there, see where it's going to lead us. And so if you look at the title, we are discussing desire, we are discussing faith, we are also discussing vision and how all of these come together to form a head. And so I'm hoping that at the end of this session, somebody is going to be inspired to go all out, and chase something, be inspired to do amazing things for themselves. That's my aim this evening. And so if you are ready, like I said, please type your name. If you are joining us on the live feed, please on Facebook or on YouTube, go ahead and type your name and type wherever it says that you are joining us from. If you are on the replay, I'd love to know if you can hear me as well. I'd love to know where you are joining us from. So if you're on the replay, just type replay and type your name and type where you're joining us from. Good to have you joining us, Emmanuel from Wenchi. Anybody else who can hear me, go ahead and type your name and type where you're joining. Anastasia from Virginia, lovely to have you here as well. Good. Anybody else who can hear me, go ahead and type your name and give me your location. I'd like to know how far reaching this call or this session is. So just drop your details in the comment section, be it on Facebook or wherever it is. Thank you very much for your patronage. Okay, so let's get started. I've got two statements here I want to read out, and I see where it is or what it is that what you make of these statements. And so I'm going to read them quickly, and then you tell me what you make of them. So the first statement is, I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy. That's the first statement. Then the second statement is, I'm going to be wealthy. So the first one is, I want to be wealthy. And the second one is, I'm going to be wealthy. Now, are these two statements the same or are they different? If you think they are the same, type same. If you think they are different, type different. In the comment section, please go ahead and do that for me right now. And if you think they are different, what is the difference between them? If you think they are the same, does that mean that they are going to, they have the same definition, they have the same everything? So what exactly makes them different? Well, it's true. I also believe that they are different. So I want to be wealthy and I'm going to be wealthy are two very, very different statements. They have different meanings. They have different, emphasis. And so it's important that we understand that even where you place the emphasis makes a big difference. You understand? So somebody says, I want to be wealthy. Now that's a desire. That's a desire. I want to be wealthy. I want to be wealthy. It's a desire. It's a deep-seated thing. It's a personal statement. I want to be wealthy. When I see myself as being wealthy. I see other people driving nice cars, living in good neighborhoods. They are doing a lot of philanthropic activities, and I want to be like them. I want to do what they are doing, and so I'm going to do what they are doing. It's an action that you take as a result of the desire. So the desire is what you want to do because you've seen others doing it and it's good. So then you have taken hold of that desire, made it your own. You have personalized it. So I want to be wealthy. Then the second one is I'm going to be wealthy. Now that's a more definite statement. So you have moved on from just wanting to be wealthy. You have moved on from just having the desire. You have moved on from just seeing others and admiring them or wanting to be like them. Now you have become convicted. You want to go all out and also become wealthy. You want to do things that are going to help you to not just want to be wealthy, but to now become wealthy. So you are going to be wealthy. It's a definite statement. There's a definition. You have put it in a space where it is now an action. It's something that you are going to do. It's a present continuous. You are in the process of becoming wealthy. You are doing things. You are putting measures in place to actually become wealthy. And so that is a statement of vision, a statement of destination, where you are going, a statement of destiny. Now, destiny, destination, it's all from the same root word. And so destiny or vision is where you are determined to go. So you wake up in the morning, and because of where you are going, you are going to do certain things. You're going to put certain measures in place that are going to help you to get to that destination. So now there's a very close association between desire and faith. Desire and vision, because most of the time the things we want to achieve, or the kind of lifestyle we want to live, it feeds into our vision. So many people struggle to differentiate between the two. But then I ask myself, is it even necessary? Do you have to differentiate between the two in the first place? Is it worth it? Is it going to add anything to your life if you know the difference between the desire and vision? Well, the simple answer is yes. It's definitely going to make a difference. It's going to matter. You see, because the interesting thing is, and I've already alluded to this point, that you can actually desire is personal. I cannot share my desire with you. In other words, where I want to go, what I want to achieve is personal to me. I know the reasons why I want to achieve this thing. Yes, we may all be paid the same amount of money. Let's say we do a job. We get a contract. We go and demolish some I don't know. We go and uproot some tree, and they pay both of us 100 Ghana cedis. That 100 Ghana cedis might mean totally different thing to you and mean totally different thing to me. It could be that because my parents are rich and they are giving me some kind of stipend, I get a monthly something. I get 1,000 Ghana cedis a month from my parents. So that 100 Ghana cedis is not so big a deal to me. So I'm not going to look at it. It's not going to be a big deal. I'm not going to look at it like I'm not going to bow down at the one who's giving me that 100 Ghana cedis, because it is nothing. It is something my parents give me more already. But you, on the other hand, this is the 100 cedis that's going to literally save your life because you are broke. Your landlord is literally on the verge of kicking you out. And so you needed this 100 Ghana cedis to go there and give to that landlord so that he's going to give you at least a month or two of peace. So that 100 Ghana cedis is very, very, very important to you. And so when we showed up to work, both of us, even though the salary was the same 100 Ghana cedis, the kind of zeal, the kind of motivation that we worked with, it is obvious that the one who needed that 100 Ghana cedis is going to put in more effort because he wants to make sure that he has done a good enough job so that even apart from the 100 Ghana cedis, the one who is giving the job will actually tip him some more because he's putting his best. But me, on the other hand, because I'm comfortable, because I already have some 1,000 Ghana cedis coming in, I may not even put in as much work. You understand? And so desire cannot be shared. Desire is personal. Based on your experiences, your past experiences, you can have a desire to achieve certain things that another person who has not had those past experiences will not see as important. For instance, the reason why somebody might want to drive a flashy car is probably because in his whole life, everybody else was driving a flashy car and splashing mud on him. So he feels he must own a flashy car so that he too will be considered as somebody. So his motivation or his desire for buying a flashy car stems from the fact that he did not have any chance of living a flashy life back in the day. You might also not want to drive a flashy car. You might want to do something else with your life and with your money. So desire is personalized, but vision can be shared. In other words, you can buy into somebody else's vision. If I came to you right now and I said that I have a vision that I'm going to create the biggest mining company in Africa, and I sold this vision to you, You are going to buy into it and become a shareholder because the vision resonates with you. And so that's one of the most important differences between vision and desire. Desire cannot be shared. Desire is personal. Vision can be shared. You can buy somebody else's vision. In fact, if you read some of the books, some of the motivational books, or listen to some of the motivational speakers, they will tell you if you don't seem to have a vision, or you don't seem to know where you are going, just find somebody who seems to know where he or she is going and just do what they are doing. That's pretty much it. Just follow them, just be with them, just buy into whatever they are doing. Over time, when you learn from these people, you realize that it begins to reflect in what you are doing. It begins reflecting how you're going about things, such that you begin to now craft your own vision for yourself. And so vision can be shared. You can buy into somebody's vision. You understand? Now, if what I'm saying makes sense so far, please go ahead and type sense in the comment section. Let me know that indeed what I'm saying makes sense. The big difference between desire and vision. Remember that we still have faith to tackle, but we're going to take it one step at a time. So desire is personalized. Desire is you. You must have that desire. When you show up to work, how much effort you put into that work depends on where you're coming from and what you want out of it. You understand? But vision is, once you know where you're going to now exert a different level of professionalism, a different level of energy, because you understand the reason why, and that's another important differentiation. When you're operating in your vision, or when you're operating along your vision, you have an understanding that what I'm doing is going to get me here. So you're going to put in the necessary effort. You understand? There's a video, it's a comedian on stage. I've forgotten the exact video. I'll look for it again and post it. There's a video of a comedian on stage, and he's not operating in comedy, but he's operating more in, he was doing a motivational session. So he points to a man in the front seat and he asks the man, what does the man do? The man says he's a choir master. And then now, so he said, oh, okay, then go ahead and give me the lines of a song. He gave him a song to sing. Now, the choir master he sang the song very, very well. I mean, he's a choir master, he has a good voice, I'm baritone guy. He sang it very well. Then the guy said, good job. He congratulated him for singing the song, but then now he gave him a second scenario. He said, now give me that same song, but this time you are singing it you are singing it at the funeral of your uncle who has just passed away, your favorite uncle who has passed away, and this is the uncle that gave you your first shot at greatness. And when this choir master now sang this song, he sang it, he took it to a whole nother level. I mean, it was powerful. I mean, the second rendition blew the first rendition out of the water. You understand? And the point that this comedian was trying to make was that the first time the guy was singing it, he sang it because he knows how to sing it. That's how it's supposed to be sung. But the second time he sang this song, he sang it because he knew why he was singing it. And that is the difference. When you have vision, when you know where you are going, you then know why you must go through certain things. You now understand why you must go through certain things, and so your approach is totally different. It might be the same boss you are under, the same boss who was dehumanizing you, who was insulting you, who was belittling you, all your efforts. But now you are operating with this boss on a level of vision, because I must go through this boss to get to my vision. So even though initially this boss will talk you down and you'll be so upset, you'll probably go and cry, you go and complain. Now that you understand that you must go through this boss to get to your destination, yes, he's still the same boss, he's still belittling you, he's still beating you down, but you are standing your ground because there's something you must learn from this boss so that you can move from here to the next level. And so when you understand why, or rather when you know your vision, when you know where you are going, you begin to understand, you begin to accept, or you begin to understand why you must go through things the way you are going through. But let's go back to desire again. Now, if you read this book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Now, if you haven't read that book, you seriously have to go and find that book. It's one of the most powerful books that anyone, I mean, everybody should go and find that book and read. It's called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. You need to find it and read it for yourself. Now, Napoleon Hill says that desire is the starting point of all success. In other words, if you have no desire, you will never achieve whatever it is you set out to achieve. So desire is the beginning. It starts with desire. I desire, or I want to be successful. I want to be wealthy. I want to be a doctor. I want to be whatever. And so it is that desire for me, for instance, I'm a trained medical doctor. I wanted to be a medical doctor. And so that desire determined for me the path that I chose. So I went to secondary school. In Ghana, where I am, you begin to specialize in secondary school. So in secondary school, I had to choose to do science. I cannot become a doctor if I did general arts in Ghana. And so I had to do science. And because of that desire to be a doctor, I had to choose to do science. If I did not have the desire to be a doctor, I would not have chosen science. But because of the desire to become a doctor, I chose to do science. And so from science in secondary school, I moved to university where I studied medicine. And I came out as a medical doctor. So it's the desire that guided my action to become what I am today. I'm a medical doctor by training. So without that desire, I would not have been where I am. Now, this desire must then feed into the vision. And the thing that connects the desire and the vision is that thing we call faith. Faith is the connection between the two. Faith is what connects desire into vision. Faith is what is going to drive you from just a desire, just having a desire to become a medical doctor. And that faith is what's going to drive you to now actualize that desire and make it into a vision, which will then eventually be achieved. And that is the connection between all these three. Now, what is faith? What is faith? Faith, I mean, and here we have no choice but to go biblical. And you already know what it is. Faith is the evidence of things unseen. Faith is the evidence of things unseen. And so faith it's your imagination at work. Your imagination, everything that you desire, you must be able to imagine. And once you're able to imagine it, then it means that it is possible. If you are unable to imagine yourself at what you desire, it is not possible for you to actually live that desire. It's not possible for that desire to become a reality. So the faith you have that desire can happen, that is what's going to drive the activity. That's what's going to drive the action. That's going to give you the persistence to make that desire become a reality. And so without faith, you cannot achieve that thing. But faith in and of itself is useless. I know the first time I made this statement, I got a lot of flack, but it is true. Faith is useless. And let me explain why faith is useless. But first of all, let me just make sure that everybody is still with me. So if you are still following me, if you are still hearing me, please drop a Y in the comment section. If you're on Facebook, drop some hearts. Let me know that you're still with me. If you're on Facebook, drop some hearts. Let me know that you're still with me. If you're on Zoom or YouTube, just give me something. Let me know that you're still with me. So before I continue, thank you very much for the feedback. Good. So faith by itself is useless, and that is a fact. Faith is useless. Faith is that thing that you really. I mean, faith is like electricity. That's the best analogy I can give for faith. Faith is like electricity. Now, electricity is useless. It's just potential. It's just energy. You can wire your house. This afternoon the power failed in my area. I mean, power went off in my area, so I didn't have any electricity. When the power came back on, I didn't know that the power was on. So I stayed I continued doing my thing as if the power was not on. But there was electricity. But that electricity at that point did not make a difference in my life because it was there, and it didn't even tell me that it was there. So it's a useless thing. Electricity only becomes useful when you flip a switch or when you plug something into the socket. That is when the electricity now becomes useful. It begins to perform useful work. Otherwise, just having electricity in the house doesn't make any difference in your life or my life. Electricity is useless until you connect a socket, either you connect a plug to the socket, or you flip a switch and the light comes on, or you plug something and then the machine comes on. It doesn't do anything by itself. Faith also is useless unless that faith drives an action. And so when we go to church and we pray for increased faith, I sit back and I wonder, increased faith towards what? The faith must perform an action. God put faith there to perform an action. When Jesus Christ was given this scenario, he said that if your faith be as small as a mustard seed, he didn't just end there. He said, if your faith be as small as a mustard seed, you can command this mountain and say, be thou removed and planted into the ocean. The faith as small as a mustard seed, if it is used to drive an action by commanding the mountain to get up and be planted elsewhere, he didn't just say that your faith, if the faith be as small as a mustard seed, he didn't end there. He continued and told you that there must be an action that the faith is assigned to. And so when you pray for increased faith, it doesn't make any difference in your life until you have actualized that faith, until you have moved that faith, until you have taken that faith, plugged that faith into a desire, and actualize that desire by taking action, the next step, so that if you have a desire to become a medical doctor, you don't just pray for you don't just pray to become a medical doctor. You don't just pray that I'm going to be a doctor. Yes, we know that that's your desire, but it's the faith for the desire to be actualized is when you actually sit down and learn, or you show up in the clinic and you do what you're supposed to do. When it's exam time, when it's revision time, you sit down and you learn, and then you go out and you perform. Faith will not pass the exam for you if you don't show up. So the faith is that even though I haven't finished learning, I'm still going to show up. I'm still going to put my best foot forward because I know that I have done my best, and then I'm leaving the rest to God. That is faith in action. And so if your faith does not perform any action, it's useless, it's dead. So faith without work is dead. It's also in the Bible. And so we really have to understand some of these things, because otherwise, if you don't understand, you are going to pray amiss. You're going to waste a lot of time praying when you have to actually move. You have to actually do something. So another characteristic of faith is that faith can be shared. So I mentioned that desire is personal, vision can be shared. Faith can also be shared. I can actually transfer my faith to you. I know this is controversial, but again, if you look in the Bible, the centurion, when he came to Christ and asked Christ come and pray for his child, he believed the child was unconscious. The child was not even aware of what was going on. But the faith of the centurion caused that child to be healed. Same thing when the other guy who came to Jesus and asked Jesus to pray for his other person, and Jesus was about to go to him, but he said, no, just speak the word and the person will be healed. It wasn't the faith of the one who was sick. It was the faith of the one who had come to Christ. The same thing, the cripple who was lowered by the mat and brought down to the roof, to the ceiling. We don't know anything about that cripple, but we know that he had friends, and his friends had faith that they are going to be healed. And so when his friends lowered him down there, we don't know the state of the crippled person, whether the crippled person had faith or not. We don't know. All we know is that his friends believed, and the faith of his friends is what caused him to get healed. I can also have faith in you, and because of the belief I have in you, the faith I have in you, it pushes you to outperform your own self. You understand? And that's why sometimes it's good to have a coach. That's why it's good to have a mentor, because the mentor can see beyond what you can see. The coach can see your potential even when you yourself don't see it. So they're going to push you to do the best that you can. You understand? And so that's faith. They are transferring their faith into you. But the challenge or the problem is, if you do not develop the desire in yourself to also become that better version of yourself, when that coach is no longer in your camp, when that mentor is no longer in your space, you realize that you're going to fall back to a point where below what you were doing when that coach was present. Because even though the faith that has been transferred from me to you is now no longer there. And so this is why you must yourself have desire. If you do not have a desire to achieve something, it's only, if I, Amanda, has a desire to achieve something and I push you for us to go together, as soon as I separate from you, you are going to retrogress, or you're going to regress. And we see this all the time. Have you not seen teams that have suffered because the vision bearer or the driving force was no longer there? For crying out loud, we are seeing it right now in Barcelona. I hope there are no Barcelona fans on this call, but we are seeing it right now. The driving force is no longer there, and the entire team is struggling. We see athletes who struggle because their coach is no longer with them, because they themselves do not have the desire that can drive their faith. Yeah, and this is important, critical thing. So these three things you cannot do without them: desire, faith, vision. You need them all in yourself. You need them all for yourself. It doesn't matter how much faith your parents have in you. If you yourself do not have the desire to achieve significant success, if you yourself don't have the desire to achieve whatever goals you have set for yourself, immediately your parents are no more, you are going to crumble. And this is a sad reality that each of us have seen before. And so we really have to strive to be a better version of ourselves every single day. And again, we go back to the Bible. The Bible says that faith comes by hearing. So then I have a question for you. What are you telling yourself? Every day we hear other people speak to us, other things speak to us, our teachers speak to us, our lecturers, our friends speak to us, the radio speaks to us. But do we speak to ourselves? Because indeed, you alone know the desires of your heart. You alone know where you are trying to go. So if you that knows the destination, if you that knows where you are going, if you are not speaking to yourself about where you are going, how do you expect somebody else to speak into your life to the level that you need to attain. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense. Please, if what I'm saying makes sense, please go ahead and type sense in the comment section once again. Let me know that indeed what I'm saying is making a lot of sense, because these are deep truths that I'm speaking here. You know, so if what I'm saying is actually making sense to you, please go ahead and drop and type a comment in the comment section. I mean, tell me, give me some feedback. Tell me if what I'm saying is making sense, is making value. Tell me if I'm hitting some nuggets for you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I mean, these are deep truths. So what are you telling yourself? I mean, there's a time in my life when, I mean, I used to drive quite a distance to get to work, and every day, obviously, the radio is on. I listen to the radio, and you know, morning radio. There's a lot of talk about politicians and corruptions and difficulties and challenges. I mean, it got to a point I actually felt my own spirit, you know, dropping. I was getting depressed just by listening to them. So after I got to a point, I actually switched off the radio in the car. I mean, I'd rather listen to a book or just play music, because there was too much negativity. There was too much negativity, you know, coming into my life early morning, and it wasn't a good thing, you know. And the Bible, where's my Bible? The Bible. Now this book nowadays, I don't even read this as a what's it called? I do not read this book as a religious text. No, it's not a religious text. This book is a manual to life. And if you actually take time and understand the things in this book, you'll be blown away. You see, because faith comes by hearing. Yes, we've heard it before. They've talked about it in church. How have you made this a part of you as a human being? So faith comes by hearing. So ask yourself, what are you hearing every day? What are you listening to every day? How are you building your own life every single day? You understand? You need to be deliberate about what you are trying to achieve, because vision, like I said, vision is a destination. When you have a program in Kumasi and you have to be in Kumasi for that program, you don't wake up and go and sit in the car going to Cape Coast. You deliberately get up on time, and then you deliberately go to the station and join a car going to Kumasi. It's a deliberate effort. It's a deliberate move. You literally plan your journey. You know that there's traffic, so I need to wake up at 3 a.m. so that I can get to the station by 3:30. Then I'll get a car by 4. Then I'll set off at about 4:30 and arrive in Kumasi at 10 or 11, so that I can make it for the program at 2 p.m. You plan it, and then you get up, and then you move. In fact, you even plan how much you're going to spend, because you know that from here to the station is about 5 cedis. Then from Accra to Kumasi, it's about 50 Ghana cedis. Then they'll stop at Lindador, so I'll buy some fried yam and fish for like 10 Ghana. You know that Lindador things are expensive, so you have to plan for that. You know, so you plan your money that you're going to spend on that journey. Then you get up on time, 3 a.m., and then you arrive at the station on time, and then you get into the bus, and then you move, because you are going somewhere. There's a destination, and there's a destination you are trying to get to. You know, so you are deliberate in your activity that's going to get you to your destination. But the challenge is, when it comes to our life, we are okay to assume that we take a lot of things for granted. After all, it's my life. If I'm not able to do it today, I'll do it tomorrow. But you see, every single day that passes, we are dying. Yes, every single day you are dying. I mean, you are stronger. You were stronger yesterday than you are today. In case you are not aware, I'm telling you, there are things you could have done yesterday that you cannot do today, because of the energy that you have lost. Because that energy that you have, as the days pass, you are growing older every single day. If you actually look at your skin, every single day your skin is getting older. You are getting a few lines here and there. You are growing older. You are dying. Your time is passing. So you do not have all the time in the world to keep postponing things. And so the point I'm making is that if you have a vision, if you have a destination, then it is unacceptable to keep postponing things. It's unacceptable to not be deliberate about your activity. You have to be deliberate about your day, how you spend your day. You have to be deliberate about how you spend your month. You have to be deliberate about how you spend your year, so that you move from point A to point B as you approach your final destination, which is point E. You cannot go from A to C and come back to B and then go back to A before you now go back to. It doesn't make sense. And so you have to deliberate about what you are hearing. If your desire is to become wealthy, and you know that faith is that thing that's going to connect your desire to that vision, and you know that this same faith is faith comes by hearing. You know, we all did math, logical reasoning. If A is equal to B and B is equal to C, and it means A is equal to C. So if faith is the connection between desire and vision, and if faith also comes by hearing, then why don't I pronounce my desire to myself every morning so that my faith will increase, so that I can quickly move that desire from just being a desire towards achieving that desire, making that desire a reality. So every morning you wake up, you speak your desire to yourself. My desire is pasted all over my office. In fact, I'm looking at it as I'm speaking right now. I have it printed. I have it stuck everywhere. It's right here. I wake up in the morning, and that's the first thing I take. When I enter my office, it's there. I have it stuck on my bed post. When I wake up in the morning, I just pick it and I read. And I tell myself, this is my desire. I deserve it. It must happen. It's going to happen, because I'm speaking it to myself and I'm believing every day. And the more I speak it to myself, the more it becomes more real. The more it becomes more achievable, and I begin to believe it more. And because I believe it more, I take bolder action every day towards my goal, because my faith in achieving it is increasing every single day, so that it is not dependent on the circumstances around me. It's not dependent on whether this person fails me or that person fails me. It doesn't matter if government increases taxes or doesn't increase taxes. It does not matter, because so long as I have faith, so long as I believe in the desire that I have put on paper. And you see, when I put on paper, the Bible says the vision must be made clear on paper. Once it's made clear on paper, there's nothing that can stop it from happening. And that's the beauty of it. The reason why you have not achieved your vision yet is because you haven't even fulfilled the first step, which is to put it on paper. You have not put on paper. And that itself is a challenge. You have not put on paper because you think that you can store it in your head. You cannot store it in your head. If you could store it in your head, God would not have asked you to write it on paper. So at the end of this call, the first thing I want you to do is to go and write your vision on paper. Write it on paper. Write it on paper. There are two things that will happen when you write on paper. When you write on paper, you are going to open yourself up for the expansion of the vision, because as you write it, you realize that there's more you can add. So you can keep adding it. I mean, listen, you don't pay taxes on your dreams, so why do you want to dream small? Charlie, make it big, because you have the potential. You are powerful. You see, God did not create a timid person. No, God created somebody after his own kind. He gave him the creative ability that he has. He gave him everything that he has. And so you too, you can speak and things are going to happen. You can build things, you can create things. I mean, you are God in himself, so there's nothing too big for you. And when you put it down and you begin to confess it to yourself, your faith in the achievement of that thing begins to grow. And as your faith begins to grow, guess what? Doors are going to open onto you. And I put up a post 2 days ago where I said that at the gate of your destiny helper will show up. The reason why your destiny helper has not shown up is because you are nowhere near your destiny gate, because you don't even know where your destiny gate is, because you haven't even written anything down. So I'm challenging you this evening. Don't go and sleep. Sit down and write that vision down, because there's something called the law of diminishing intent. Yes, you are here, I'm talking to you, you are probably motivated and all that. If you don't act on that motivation right now and put the thing down, by tomorrow, half-life, it will have decayed. You know, so by tomorrow, you start making excuses. Oh, this is Dr. Kelvin Crouch, he doesn't know what he's talking about. Master, I'll make it come up for there. Yeah, I know, I will come up for there. But when I'm chopping my millions, you should know that I wrote it down. It is right here. In case it is here, $1 million. I've written it in words and I've written it in figures as well. And I'll get it. Why? Because I believe it. Because I've written it down and I speak it to myself every morning. And the day I get this $1 million, I'll post a snapshot on the page. Don't come and ask me for a loan, because I won't give you. Anyway, and so that is it. Basically, that's the connection between these three things: desire, faith, vision. Every one of us needs it. You cannot do without it. It is not an optional thing. It is mandatory for you as a human being created by God and of God to have a vision, to have a destination, to be deliberate about achieving that vision and that purpose. In fact, I'm reading a book right now, Dominion Mandate. And if you are following me on my page, you know that Dominion Mandate is one of my favorite books, because the book that literally blew my mind. And in it, it's written by Nelson Otabil. Nelson Otabil is saying that he believes that at the on Judgment Day, God is not going to be so crazy about who has sinned and who hasn't sinned and all that. The only question he's going to ask is, and did you have dominion? And those who had dominion will be made, okay, you can go to heaven. And those who did not have dominion, oh yeah, go to hell. Because when God put us here, he put us here for a reason. You as a creation cannot determine your purpose. You as a creation cannot determine your purpose. It is only the creator that can determine the purpose. And so you have to go back to the creator and find your purpose. And if you are trying to find that purpose, just look within yourself. What are some of the things that you do easily? What are some of the things that you do without even thinking about? What are some of the things that you are so good at? Some people are so good at mathematics, engineering, physics. They build things, and yet they find themselves, doing other things. There are some people who are good at selling. Charlie, you give the guy anything, he'll sell it. But this guy is sitting somewhere in an office, sweating like a pregnant fish. You see, these are how to identify your purpose. When you find the things that you are good at, naturally gifted at. Some of you have a beautiful voice, and when you sing, things begin to happen. But you have put that aside, and you are creating something, trying to make some other thing work. See, and this is what I see. And this is what I say to myself. In this era that we are in, this is the best time to find yourself. And I mean, this generation, because you can express yourself in so many different ways. You can do multiple jobs at the same time. Previously, it was not the case. Now, thanks to social media, I'm a doctor. I have a social media channel that I'm doing a lot of different things. I'm exploring myself. I'm trying to find where I can flow at, thanks to social media. You can also do the same thing. The fact that you're a nurse or a lawyer or whatever you are does not preclude you from actually doing other things, because in this 2020, in this 21st century that we find ourselves in, the opportunities are endless. So Charlie, find your purpose, craft that vision, confess it to yourself every morning, and work hard towards achievement of that thing. Be deliberate. Just as how you get up and sit in the Kumasi car because you want to go to Kumasi. That's the same way you must do things that are aligned to the vision that you have for yourself. If your vision is to become wealthy, you need to learn all you can about wealth, because wealth creation is a science. It doesn't happen by chance. It happens because you followed certain principles. You cannot become wealthy by gambling. You cannot become wealthy by betting. It's not going to work. Master, let's not start that argument at all. I haven't seen any wealthy person who got his wealth through betting. It's not be today. You can bet and then you can use it to do your, buy some one or two things. But if you want to create wealth, if you want to become wealthy, you and I know that's not the path to go. But probably because you haven't actually sat down and learned the science of wealth creation, you are assuming that you can build wealth through all those channels. You are wasting your time. So your destination. Oh yes, thank you, Edwin. The only person who can become wealthy through betting is the one who owns the betting company. That's it. That's a summary of the whole show. Thank you very much. And so be deliberate about where you are going. First of all, know where you are going, and then deliberately map out your life and strategize to get that destination. And I can assure you that you'll get there. By all means, have the desire. Desire is personal. I cannot give you my desire. You have to want it. Even if I come and give you my vision, it may not happen for you because your desire is different. So identify what you desire and then build on from there, and through faith achieve your vision. It's possible. We can do it. We can create a whole new generation of Africa. And in the near future, the next 5 years, 10 years, we are going to blow up. We're going to be doing amazing things. So thank you very much this evening for joining me here as we spoke about desire, faith, and then vision. Now, if everything I've said, if what I've said makes sense, if you got some value from everything you've heard this evening, please type value in the comment section and type just one thing that you have learned this evening. If there's something that you've learned this evening, just type in the comment section. I definitely would like to know that feedback. So type in the comment section. Let me know the one thing that you have learned this evening from all that I've said to you. That feedback will be very, very dear to me, because to help me to know that indeed I am making impact in your life as well and didn't waste your time here. So just tell me one thing that you learned from your 35 minutes that you spent here on this call, on this live presentation, or this live, I call it a rant. Yes, be deliberate, right? My vision. Thank you very much. Thank you for that feedback. I'm very, very grateful. And my Facebook people, if you have learned anything at all from this session, please type it up in the comment section. Let me hear from you. As we wrap up this evening. Thank you very much for spending your evening with me. I'm super excited, super grateful for the time you spent here. The vision must be written clearly on paper. Yes, indeed. Thank you very much for that. Still waiting, still waiting. I know if you did learn something, please type it up. You can catch someone. Oh, wait, I missed that. Let me quickly check it out. Yes, I must be deliberate. You can catch someone's vision, but you must cultivate your own desire, else nothing will happen for you personally. That's very true. Speak to yourself about your desires. Yes, put the vision on paper. I must be deliberate about succeeding. Yes, very, very important. Write the vision. Writing the vision is one step to achieving it. Indeed, it is. Thank you very much for all the feedback that you have given me. I'm super excited, super grateful. We'll do this again very soon. Yes, Balfour says desire is personal. Vision can be shared. Faith can be shared. You have to develop your own desire. Very, very true. Very true. Very true. All right, guys. Thank you very much for being with me. Thank you very much for staying with me. Thank you very much for learning from me. I hope that together we can build a whole new category, a whole new class of Africans who are deliberate about their future, deliberate about where they are going, so that together we can achieve amazing things together. The world is really at our fingertips. It's ours to play with. Let's not. Our playing small does not help anybody. But when we blow up, others will look at our success and will come to us and ask us, how did we do it? And then we will sit them down and teach them our process, because it is the process that is important. The process is what we are going to hand over to our children. When you leave money to your children, when you leave wealth to your children, you're actually going to worry them. But when you leave the process that got you the wealth, and then on top of that, leave them the wealth, then you're actually helping them, because then they're going to be able to multiply that wealth to different levels. So the process is more important than the result. Thank you very much, guys. Have a lovely evening. Stay blessed. Peace. Oh, yes. Somebody's asking for replay. Yes, you can get the replay. The replay will be on my YouTube channel. So you can type Kelvin Owusu on YouTube and the replay will be there live. I'll share the link as well. So don't worry. The replay will be available. All right, guys. Stay blessed. Have a lovely evening.